Hi, I'm Lindsay Patterson with the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants. Thank you guys so much for joining us today on another installation of our Human Intelligence series. I'm very excited to be joined with Anton Colella, who is the CEO of ICAS and the soon-to-be global CEO of Moore Stephens. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It is my pleasure to be with you today.
So as a CEO, you're going to be sharing with all of our Facebook viewers what it means to think like a CEO. So tell us, in your busy schedule, what's the first thing that you do when you get to the office every day? What does a CEO do?
It takes time to think. I love getting into the office first thing in the morning before anybody else is in. I love the stillness of the office and looking at what I need to do for the day. A CEO needs calm. At least one point in the day when he's calm to get a sense of equilibrium, because during the day the CEO gives out and gives out and gives out, and the CEO needs a little bit of time in the morning on his own. Nobody else there. Quite like the cleaners when they come in. They can join me for a cup of coffee, but generally I just get time on my own to think. And some of those thoughts can be great thoughts as the day goes on. I just need time to get them.
And do you normally get that? Is that something that is an ideal, or do you make time for it?
Well, in the morning I never turn on the TV or the radio.
Do you check your email?
I will check my email, but it won't be for at least an hour after I've got up in the morning.
That's a good lesson a lot of us could probably take.
Do you know, the thing is, a lot of us don't get enough stillness in our lives. And I'm not saying meditation, just silence. And there's something just so beautiful about when you get up in the morning and there's nothing. And by the time the day starts, there's a calmness there, which I think makes a great, great start to the day. One of the challenges when you're giving out all the time, you need to give yourself. So you need to give yourself place to download, to say, what did I do yesterday that I did well, that I didn't do well, learn from it and say, what am I going to do today? How am I going to be good to myself today? How am I going to make sure there's time for me today? And who needs what from me today? Because normally you have an agenda of meetings. I do the meetings, I get all the prep for that. But my question is, who am I going to meet today? And what might they need? And what do I have to say to them?
All right, well, that is excellent advice. So thanks for sharing that with us. Now let's think about rising up in the accounting profession. You work with so many people across the globe. What do you think are the characteristics that really distinguish somebody as a leader in the accounting profession? What would you yourself look for?
Well, to be honest, I don't care if it's accounting profession or anything. I'm not an accountant. I'm a leader in the profession, but I'm not an accountant. So really, when you speak to people about leadership, whether they will be in the profession or not in the profession, it's always about some of the key components that make you a good leader. And the incredible thing as a CEO, I spend a lot of time with people, and I watch them from the youngest all the way through to the most senior. And I'm looking for some of those characteristics that I know that I'll follow as a leader. And do you know what you look for? You look for those who give you their best 30 seconds every day. You're looking for someone, when you meet them in the corridor, at the coffee machine or in the lift, they look at you, they shake hands with their eyes, not just with their hand. Their eyes sparkle, they speak to you, they take an interest in you. Before I've even had a chance to say, how are you? They say, how are you? Now you might say, but Anton, this is just about human manners and greetings. If someone behaves like that to me and they behave like that to everybody else, people will follow them. Then you can start building the skills upon that. So give everybody your best 30 seconds. And that means the person on the bus beside you, or the train, or the guy that's standing behind the desk when you come in the door in the morning. Everybody you meet, because to tell you something about the best 30 seconds, I promise you, you give your best 30 seconds to someone and they will give you a job. One day they will give you a job, and then you'll get your next job, because people see, this is somebody I want to work with, and even who I want to work for. And the second thing is, I know it's a long answer, give me some patience.
It's a good one, it's a good one.
It's the Scots, they like to talk. Know your people. The best leaders, not just leaders, the best leaders know their people. They know what makes them tick. They can watch their faces. They can tell the mood they're in. They have an interest in their work. They know the names of their partners, their children. They know where they've been on holiday. And you know when a colleague feels, or a member of staff feels as though they're cared for, they give more because they feel loved. And I think it's one of the understated components of the leadership responsibility. Because you want to be a manager, go manage things. You want to be a leader, you lead people. And you know, a lot of aspiring leaders, they forget it's actually people. And do you know who you start with? You start with the people who are round about you. Those ones. You might get a chance to meet other leaders, you might get a chance to meet the boss, but you start with the people who are in your life and show that you care for them.
Well, that was a great answer, so thank
long
you so much
one,
for sharing.
a long
That was
Scottish
great.
accent. Okay, good.
You mentioned a little bit about, these are skills that apply regardless of if you're starting out or you've been in for a very long time. But what if somebody really is starting out? They're completely green, they're brand new to the profession. What do you encourage them to do? What are some first steps to really becoming involved?
You give your best every day. You give 150% to the job, but you don't give your soul to the job. Some people think if I give everything, that will be it. No. You do your very best. And you look forward to starting on a Monday morning. You give everybody your best 30 seconds. You know the people that are around about you. You start to behave like that and think like that. And even although you've only been in your first week in work, I promise you, you will start to get the confidence and a sense of momentum that will take you to a very early promotion and potentially guide you on to great success.
Well, that's great advice for everybody, regardless of where you are in your career and what industry you're even in. Well, let's transition just specifically to the accounting profession now. What are some big trends that you're seeing impacting the profession globally?
Well, obviously we're seeing the impact of technology. Everybody talks about technology and the profession. I don't know how many talks I've heard that almost suggest the apocalypse for the accounting profession, the demise of us. Let's just go and leave and go and find somebody else, something else to do, because the machines are going to do all the work. Well, in a sense, that will happen. In the same way that automation will affect lots of other work and it'll affect our lives. But let me say something about the accounting profession. I would argue today, not everybody agrees with me, that the accounting and auditing profession is arguably the most important profession in the world today.
Well, I think everybody listening would probably agree with you. Can you explain why you feel that way?
Why would they be? I mean, this is quite controversial, but doctors or nurses or teachers, they're great doing noble work. But we live in a global economy. Everything about our lives, our savings, our pensions, our mortgages, our economy, our lifestyle are so interacting with a global economy. The confidence of that global economy and the impact it has on us can sometimes be very fickle, as we saw during the financial crisis, and the impact it has. Every human being alive today is hoping there's somebody there making sure the system is working well and will hold together. Accountants and auditors serve the truth today. If they can be trusted to audit and present accurate, truthful, honest, courageous financial statements and interrogate them, people will be peaceful. They'll make judgments, but they'll know I can have confidence in those numbers and the judgments of those people. So men and women who are in the accounting profession today all over the world are potentially having an effect on the course of human history, because they defend the truth, they seek the truth, they protect the truth, they courageously argue the truth and deal with it when it is not what it should be. So for anybody sitting listening to this saying, I don't know if I want to be an accountant, let me tell you today, you want to have a noble profession, be a part of a noble profession, become an accountant.
That is so inspiring. Like, I'm almost forgetting my questions because you've inspired me. But let's focus back on the accounting profession. I'll try to get back over here. What are some potential threats that you're seeing? I mean, we talked about technology, but you really spun that almost as something we shouldn't be afraid of? Is there
Not
anything
at all.
is there anything that you think we should be?
Well, do you know, I think what's going to happen with automation and technology brought to bear, some of the things that accountants have historically and traditionally done, they won't need to do anymore. And do you know what they're then going to have a chance to do? Exercise the wisdom and good judgment and courageous thinking that will add value to the businesses that they work with, the firms they're in, and to the global economy. Do you know what will happen? I really believe it. We're going to see a richness about the contribution of accountants to the world of accounting and business. So technology is a wonderful opportunity.
Well, thank you for sharing those thoughts. Another question I had was related to global mobility. So this is something really impacting the profession right now. Even with technology, we still have accountants who are operating across borders. How do you see that impacting the profession as that need grows?
It needs to impact the profession. Businesses are crossing boundaries. They're crossing geographies. They're crossing nations and oceans. We have global firms to support them, but we need a level of mobility that's recognised by regulators, because the biggest obstacle just now is the regulator says, oh, where have you come from? I'm not sure you're qualified to practice here. Business needs it, the firms need it, to ensure that regulation is carried out well and seamlessly. So the future is mobility. All the great work that NASBA is doing with AICPA is all helping to ensure that American CPAs have mobility to get to the economies and to the businesses which will add the most value. It's logical, it's necessary. In some cases it's taken an awful long time to get there, but I appreciate the determination that is going on to make it happen. The accounting profession is truly the first global profession. We need to make it fully and completely a global profession. We want to see our young CPAs working all over the world, or young chartered accountants in my case. We anticipate in the next 10 years plus, 25% of our entire institute will be working outside the UK. We want them to be able to use the skills, the talents and training in all the economies and capital markets that they find themselves working. So global mobility, that's the new one.
All right, so last question. Is there anything else you would like our viewers to just walk away with knowing, the one thing that you could give them about thinking like a CEO?
You want to go and change the world. People use this, say this as a cliche. Our lives are so short, relatively short. People spend too much time worrying about the perfect job, the perfect career, the perfect promotion. There is no such thing. So what you do is, every day you work where you're planted, where life has taken you, and you give it your best shot every day. And every person you meet, you give your best 30 seconds. Because you know what will happen? Your best 30 seconds will become your best minute, your best hour, your best day, your best life. So all of you that are listening to this, you can change the world by giving your very, very best today. Don't spend all your time worrying about tomorrow, because you miss the opportunity today to be the very best that you can be. How about you?
Well, thank you so much for giving us your best today. And thank you guys all for joining in for another one of the Human Intelligence series. And we look forward to seeing you all again soon.